Well, hello. This is Meg Gretel Brown, Mrs. Texas Petite, and I'm here with our third episode of All Things Pageantry. And I'm here with my sweet friend, who I've known for several years, Bianca Xoyamayagua. I messed it up. Galvan. So sorry.
That's okay. It's Xoyamayagua.
Xoyamayagua. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. All right, so Bianca, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Meg.
Yes. And it's interesting because my last two guests, including you, have been, I've met through the United America pageant system. We had Susan on as my first guest, and then Dominique is my second guest for the second episode. So I have you. So it's interesting how I didn't really plan it that way. I just kind of came out like, oh, who are for me, the people who stand out in pageantry, and let me get them going. And so, yeah, so that's amazing. So tell me a little bit more how you got into pageantry.
Yes.
And then what your current title is now.
Okay. So I got into pageantry actually because of my daughter. So my oldest daughter, she's 21 now. She was Miss Juneteenth Princess 2017. And I had gone through that experience with her, and I had such a fun time. I didn't know anything about pageants for women or Mrs. at the time. So I started looking into it and, thought about it. And then I found United World, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And I've never looked back, and I've been doing pageants for the past few years. And I am currently Miss Texas North America 2023-2024.
Awesome. How did you find your current system that you're in?
Mm-hmm. So I actually was wanting to do a pageant, and it had been a little bit since my last one. So I was looking to see what options there were, and I came across North America, Texas, and I wasn't really familiar with it. And I tend to do a lot of research when I'm looking at systems. And so I was checking out their social media and the website, and I reached out to the director, and the director is always like a big part of it for me. And my decision is like, how responsive are they? How do they make me feel about the pageant system? And so I was really excited because Miss Stella, who's our director for the system, is fantastic. And I decided to sign up.
Awesome. I wasn't familiar with the pageant, so that's amazing how there's always pageants. I'm sure it's new, but there's always pageants available if you just look and kind of ask around and.
Yeah, this system's actually been around for a really long time, and I was also surprised I hadn't come across it. They've been around for years, and they have several different systems. And the owners of the North America Beauty System actually held some of the licenses for some of the major pageants as well. And so this pageant has been around for many years. And they also have an international pageant for Miss United States or Miss U.S. International as well. So there's a lot of opportunity with the North America system.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So then your national pageant is in July, correct?
Yes, July 10th through 14th in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, ooh, that'd be pretty. Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited.
Awesome. Yes, it's coming up soon. Next month. Oh my goodness. So awesome. So your platform, is it called Mentoring Moments? I know it's about mentorship.
So it's Mentoring Matters, and what it is promoting youth mentoring so that every student can have a mentor and can reach their full potential. And I have been volunteering and advocating for mentoring for the past 20 years. My mom was actually a teacher in the public school systems. And back in the day, they used to do home visits. And so when I was younger, I would go with her, and I saw firsthand students that were struggling and some of the situations that they had to deal with on a daily basis. And so I realized that how important it was to have a caring adult in their lives. And so I started volunteering as a mentor in college and have done it throughout since. And I, through my pageantry experience, actually became an advocate for youth mentoring. And so what you referred to as mentoring moments was Facebook Live conversations that I had with different mentoring organizations to talk about what type of mentoring organization they have and how people can get involved.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So, what would you say to someone who wanted to be a mentor but really wasn't sure whether they would have, have the skills or kind of didn't know where to start? But how would you recommend them to get into that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any special skill that you need to be a mentor. Everybody has talents and abilities. Everybody has things that they enjoy, and there's always a child that I feel like you could find a connection with. And just being there to listen to them, being able to talk to them, they lead the conversation, and then you are there to listen, support, encourage them. And it's been really rewarding experience. I go once a week during my lunch, and it's like the bright spot of my week. The week is really stressful with work, and I have it on my calendar that I know that at this time, that one day a week, I'm going to go and meet my student for lunch. And we've actually been together since she was in third grade, and she's now just completed 10th and going to 11th grade next year.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, how fulfilling, that must be to see, to be with a child for so many years and watch them grow up and you're able to kind of just give advice and kind of help them in their direction in their life.
Yes, I'm so excited that I'm like just hopeful that I'll make it to her graduation. We're not supposed to make promises that we'll return or anything like that because you never know what is going to happen. But I know at the end of this year, she asked me, she's like, I can't wait. I'm getting so close to my graduation and I want to have you there. So it's really rewarding and special. And for anybody that wants to be a mentor, there's so many different types of organizations. The one I'm with is Austin Partners in Education. It's school-based mentoring. So you only do it during the school year. You go during their lunch. There's tutoring programs, coaching. So if you have a skill in math or science or something like that, there's organizations like Big Brothers where you could be paired with a little, and you can be a big year round and do activities with them on your own free time. So there's so many different ways that you could become a mentor.
Yeah. There's so many ways here and really anywhere, like any town,
Yes.
you can probably find sort of mentorship program. So with your Facebook Live conversations, mentoring moments, what kinds of guests have you had on the Facebook Live?
Mm-hmm. So I've had some board directors from some of the mentoring organizations. One of the board directors from Austin Partners in Education. I've also had the executive director of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Central Texas on the podcast before. There's a mentoring organization called Seedling, which provides mentors to students who have an incarcerated family member, and I've had them on. I also had a queen who was involved with mentoring for students who are from foster families. So I've had a wide range of guests, and the podcast or the Facebook Live conversations are not currently going on right now. I'm taking a break to focus on some other projects, but I hope to resume it soon because there are so many different mentoring organizations I want to be able to highlight.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I remember posting your Facebook Lives and watching, as much as I can. And I thought that was a really good conversation to have because, like I mentioned before, people may not feel like they are mentorship material, but it's really just being someone who cares
Exactly.
can make the best mentor. Awesome. Awesome. So, now I understand that you've recently started, is it called Queen's Act or Queen's Act membership?
Yes.
Or mentorship, is that?
Yes, so about a year ago, I started a group called Queens Act. So it stands for Queens of Austin Central Texas. And it's a group of women in Austin Central Texas to be able to support each other in our pageantry and public service journeys. So in Austin, we don't have as large of a pageantry community as some of the bigger cities in Texas, like Houston or Dallas. And so I really wanted to connect with other women in our area that were doing pageants. And so through some of the pageants I had done, I had met, the Miss Austin or the, junior teen Austin, things like that. So I wanted us to have a way to stay connected. And so I started this group through Facebook, and through that group, we share posts of upcoming events, different volunteer activities that we can support each other with. I hosted a social where I had a photographer come and do headshots, and we had brunch together. So I just try to plan ways for us to connect and support each other through our different activities, our different platforms.
And that is such a great thing. And because kind of going back to finding different pageant systems, and in this way we have this group we can network, with each other, and like, oh, right, I didn't know that this system existed and everything. That's such a good thing. Awesome, awesome. So, what would you tell someone if they wanted to get into pageantry and some of like there's some negative talk about why women continue in pageantry as we get older. But so, what would you tell someone who was kind of interested in becoming a pageant contestant?
Yeah, I'd say if you were interested to reach out and talk to somebody that has participated in a pageant and find out what their experience is. And I guarantee that most of the women that have been in pageantry have a positive experience. We met and here we are, several years later, still connecting, still being friends,
Yeah.
still supporting each other in our different efforts. So I think that's one of the greatest things about pageantry is it's a personal development opportunity, no matter what age you're at. My daughter participated in pageant. She's 10 and she grew her confidence so much. And as adults, even, there's times when we have self-doubt and we don't feel as confident. And it's a way for us to feel beautiful from the inside and out. It's a way for us to further our goals and the work that we're doing in our communities and locally, nationally. So I would say just reach out and talk to somebody. There's so many different articles and resources on pageantry that you can look into, and there's so many different options for pageantry, right? Like there's tons of systems, so you can find something that is suited to you.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. There's, um, pageants that have options for talent or for, what is that? Not speech, but like be able to kind of show your speaking skills. So yeah, I
Yes.
mean, there's so many. So you have two daughters. Do you plan to do like a mom-daughter pageant together in the future?
I want to. Well, so my oldest one, she's 21 now and she's done with pageants. So, even though I tell her, I'm like, there's still pageants we could do. She's like, no, mom.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but my younger daughter, she's 10, and I think that's definitely something she wants to do. So I hope
Yeah.
our next pageant we can do that together because I think that would be so fun to be on the stage
Oh yeah.
together. So her first pageant, I really wanted it to be about her, and so I could focus on her and her not
For
be
her.
nervous. And so I'm looking forward to the next one that we can do together.
That's awesome. Awesome. So, let's see. Is there anything else that you want to talk about regarding your pageant journey? Anything that you'd like us to know?
Yeah, I guess just excited about preparing for nationals in July in Orlando, as I said. So we have a really great director. So she's been putting together coaching opportunities and modeling prep for us. And I'm in Austin, and several of them, we live in different places. So we're able to come together virtually, which is really nice.
Oh,
And, have meetings, get everything prepared. We have a really fantastic national Facebook group that they've put together. And one of the things that I really love is that they started a separate Facebook group just for like the parents and the family members of the delegates so that they could get together and plan like, hey, let's get together and do these activities while the contestants are busy, or,
yeah.
here's some of the things you can do while you're in Florida. So I thought that was really neat because I hadn't seen that before. So
Yeah.
that's really exciting. But just been working really hard to prepare for the pageant, working on interview. I'm going tomorrow to a pageant interview workshop in Houston. So I'm very excited about that and just working on, taking care of the mindset, making sure you do all the things you can to feel the most confident on stage. And I'm just so excited about it.
Exactly. I'm excited too for you. So, will this be live on social media, or how? Just kind of an in-person pageant.
I'm not sure if it's going to be live streamed or not, but I know and there are videos from past North America beauty pageants online. So I imagine there will be, but those details haven't been released yet.
Gotcha. I totally understand. So when you received the title of Miss Texas North America, was that at a state pageant, or were you
Yes.
given that?
Yes, that was a state, and that was in McAllen, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I have a funny story about that. Actually, I want to give a shout out to my husband, my super husband, because so we had driven to McAllen for the pageant, which is about 5.5 hours from Austin, and we're traveling with two kids, so a 5.5 hour trip takes us about 7 hours actually, with all the stops and everything. But we got there, and it was about 10:45 at night, and we're unloading the car, and I realize I've left my dresses in Austin. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, I was like freaking out. I'm like, what do I do? And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to text some of the other girls in our group chat and see if anybody has any dresses I can borrow. And my husband's like, I'll just drive back to Austin. I'm like, that's crazy. You're not going to drive back to Austin. So I'm texting in the group chat. He goes out to the car to get the rest of our things, and he comes back and he's like, you know what? He's like, I've got it worked out. Our other friend is going to go to our house tonight. He's going to pick up your clothes. He's going to meet me tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. In San Marcos. So it cut off like an hour from his trip. So he slept like 2 hours. He woke up. He drives back to back to San Marcos, and so it was like 8.5 hours round trip. Brings back the dresses, and then he's like still awake, attends the pageant. I'm like, let's take pictures afterwards, and he's like, I just want to take a nap. But, he was a good husband taking pictures. And then finally he's like, okay, Bianca, I've got to sleep. I've got to crash. And I was like, yes, go. I'll take care of the children from here.
Wow, that is a super husband.
Yes.
I mean, just to be like awake for that long.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, and that's so important. I think even with like the Mrs. contestants or the Ms. contestants that have spouses, it really is a family affair when it comes to pageantry. I mean, even if you have like kids as contestants, I mean, the whole family is involved. And I know my husband, when I got back into pageants, his eyes kind of just opened to this whole world. Like, what's going on? So yeah, I mean, but
Exactly.
that is so good. Your husband is so supportive of you because that's so important.
It is. It is. Yeah. And like you said, it's a pageantry is like, it is, you're all in, right? The whole family's in, spouses, kids, everybody, because it's a commitment, and it is really nice to have the support of your family alongside you too. It makes the journey really special.
Yes, yes, it does. Even my nationals is in August, and my mom's like, "I'll go if you want me to," and I'm like, "Just pay my way, and I'll be there."
Awesome.
Even my parents are like, "Yeah, let's go." Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic.
what? Yeah. So what has been like your most favorite standout memory in pageantry? Like, what would you say, hands down, is like your favorite memory?
Ooh, tough question. Favorite memory. Hmm. Well, to talk about United America, that was my very first pageant that I ever did, and Miss Annette was so amazing, and that I just hold a lot of special memories from that time, because I had no experience doing pageantry, and I'm really grateful that I won that year. And I think it was probably because, well, one, I did a ton of research into pageants and basically like taught myself, but also because you're not as nervous, right? Like when you don't really know what to expect, you're not as nervous. You're just like out there and you're just really, truly yourself. And so I feel like that is what like the winning secret sauce was, was just like, just totally not being nervous and just, having a great time. And those queens that I met from that very first pageant, like I said, we're still here. We're still supporting and cheering each other on. It's just such a strong sisterhood there, with the United America system. And I was really grateful. I won the Pageantry Spirit Award that following year. And so that's just a really, really special time for me. And then also just appearances that I've been able to do with my daughter. As I said, she was Miss Juneteenth Princess. And so whenever I had a title, we were able to do things together. And so those moments are like really special for me.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. Yeah, yeah. I always think back to my United America time and just remember it as so just special and because Miss Annette was amazing.
Yes.
You know, she really was.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
She,
All right, Bianca. Thank you so much for your time. Any last minute pieces of advice for people who want to be mentors, people who want to be in pageants?
yes, I would just say find something you're passionate about. And if you want to do it, take the risk. You know, like a lot of times we just think about it and we're like, no, no, I'm not going to do it. Or should I do it? If you have an inkling of something that you want to do, just take the chance, take that opportunity, and 99% of the time you are not going to regret doing that. And that applies to entering a pageant, being a mentor, whatever dream it is that you have.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so we'll be looking out for you on in July for pageant. So
Thank you,
awesome,
Meg.
and
I'm going to
we'll
be cheering you
and
on too.
yeah, thank you. And in the show notes, I'll put your contact information in there, where to follow you on Facebook or Instagram and whatnot. So, all right, Bianca, have a great weekend,
Thank you.
and
You
we'll
too.
see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.